The night Lena called me a placeholder, the cheap folding chair under me squeaked so loud the whole deck turned to look. I smiled like a man who had just decided to stop bleeding. The grill hissed, the harbor wind smelled like rain and rust, and my wife Tessa laughed and said, "That's just how she is." She squeezed my shoulder like a coach who had benched me for my own good. I said very calmly, "I understand." I did. I understood that every joke has a receipt. The party had those trendy strings of bulbs and a playlist you hear in cafes that sell $5 muffins. Lena floated between conversations like a hostess on a reality show, the kind who calls people sweetie while knifing them with her eyes. She told a story about my job, about how I fix windshields because somebody has to like glass more than ambition, and everyone chuckled like it was a polite thing to do. Colt Avery, all shoulders and teeth, clinked bottles with her. Tessa kept checking her phone. I make glass behave. I pull spider webs out of a crack, fill the wound, polish it until the sun can't find the seam. The men who think that makes me small have never seen a windshield pop clean because someone rushed it. They have never watched a car owner go from panic to relief in 10 minutes. I am not grand. I am good. By midnight, the jokes were on repeat. I cleared plates. I took the trash out because someone had to. Lena found me by the garbage cans and said, "Evan, you're a saint. We could not survive without the help." "The help," I said. "That how it is." She touched my cheek with her cold fingertips. "Don't be sensitive. Tessa knows I adore you." "Sure," I said, and looked past her at the parking lot where a familiar black pickup had just nosed in and idled. The studio logo on the door caught a slice of light. Tessa came out 15 minutes later smelling like lemon soap and someone else's tobacco. "Can we go?" she said, bright, the way you over-smile at a cashier when your card has already declined. "We can go," I said. At home, Tessa showered and hummed. I sat with the bills. Married people should not share a credit card if they plan to lie. The Lyft entries were small, round numbers stamped with the studio's address at peculiar hours. My phone plan still listed me as primary. The call log showed long evening blocks to a number saved years ago when Tessa tested a corporate promo with the fitness chain. Vendor contact, not her boss, but in our handbook at my old job they called that a conflict either way. I Googled her. A notification pinged from an open tab I had forgotten. The bar at the corner did last call in 10. I put on my jacket and walked through the wet to say congratulations to Lena's fiancé, who had just landed a real estate listing big enough for a banner. "Man of the hour," I said at the counter. "You made it," he said. "Did you see the clapback Lena gave those HOA trolls? Never seen someone so fearless. She's a storm." "She is a storm," I said, and I said it like a compliment. "Hey, random question. Did you guys decide on the condo yet?" Tessa said Lena toured some on Maple by herself, great kitchens, sunlight. He blinked. "What condo?" "Forget I said anything," I said. I smiled like a man who had dropped a coin into a machine and walked away before it fell into the tray. "You saving clips?" I said. "I do," he said, happy to be useful. "If it's about noise, the HOA loves an exhibit." "Good to know," I said. At dusk, I drove to the gym and parked across the street in the lot behind a tire shop. I watched people flow in and out under the bright white light like moths around a new porch bulb. When Colt came out, he scanned the lot the way men do when they like to be looked at. He saw me and smiled as if he had expected me. He bumped my shoulder as he passed, a soft, staged collision. "Excuse you," he said. "You're excused," I said. He looked at my hands like he might want to see them make a fist. I held my coffee cup and did not blink. Inside the lobby, security told us to take it outside. Outside, I reached up, slow, and tapped the plastic shaker bottle out of his palm. It smacked the pavement and rolled under a parked car. "Butterfingers," I said. He stepped in and spoke to my face. His breath smelled like cinnamon gum and protein. The guard put a hand between us. Colt smiled again, big for the cameras. "Always a pleasure, Evan," he said. I let him leave first. The twitching part of me calmed. Back home, there was an envelope on the table addressed to both of us from a resort 2 states away. Inside was a glossy brochure about couples who rediscover each other in guided silence. The invoice was digital. The charge on our card read like a hardware store. Shell games are never as clever as the magician thinks. When Tessa got home, I was sitting with the paper in my hand. "What is that?" she said. "A memory I'm not invited to," I said. "It was a work retreat," she said. "The couple's part?" "It was 2 rooms," she said. "It was nothing. Do not be dramatic." "You are using our money to make me an alibi," I said. "That is dramatic." She paled, then rallied. "You do not understand how the studio works. Colt is just a contact. He isn't even my supervisor." "Your handbook says vendor relationships are conflicts," I said. Her mouth opened and closed. Her eyes got bright. "You went through my stuff." "Our stuff," I said. "That's how marriage is." She grabbed her gym bag like it could carry her out of the conversation. "Lena is right about you." "Today she is not right about much," I said. "Check your phone." She saw the group chat. Her face went flat the way a road goes flat after snow melts. She walked to the bedroom and shut the door. I sat at the table and arranged the papers into a neat fan, as if tidiness could stop a flood. When pain goes quiet, you can hear the engine underneath. I took a day off and organized. I made a timeline with dates, times, addresses. No accusations, no adjectives, just the bald little facts we all leave behind when we think nobody is following us. I printed the HR policy from the regional site, highlighted the vendor clause, and attached my copies of receipts with transactions I had a legal right to see. I wrote a short, unemotional email to the regional manager asking for guidance on a potential I emailed the HOA president to ask a question about Lena's vote on a sponsorship package for the studio during a residence fair. The minutes showed a pass-through payment that did not match the public flyer. I did not accuse. I asked how the board reported vendor relationships when a board member also appeared in promotional materials. The president responded within an hour with the kind of politeness that has a pulse. At 5, I parked a block away from the studio and watched. At 6:20, Tessa walked out with Colt. They did not touch, but the space between their shoulders looked like a secret. They split at the corner. Colt turned left, toward the waterfront apartments. I followed at the legal distance a person follows when he values his insurance premiums. Colt noticed me after 2 lights. He sped up. I did not. He tried to cut through an alley I knew well because glass breaks there on weekends. I hung back, headlights off, then rolled forward when I heard his tires bark. He clipped a low dumpster and cursed loud enough to echo. I stopped at the mouth of the alley and filmed him reversing, straightening, inspecting the scrape, then pointing at me like I had pushed the building into his lane. I did nothing a jury would mind. When I got home, an email from the regional manager waited. "We need to discuss your report. Please bring any documentation you believe is relevant." The RSVP tool listed times. I picked one that left room for a storm. The next day, the studio posted a bland little square on their feed about leadership transitions and growth. The caption used words like clarity and alignment. The comments were a polite war. Tessa did not come home that night. She texted that she needed space to think. I gave her 4 walls and a silence measured in inches. Lena went on the HOA forum and called me a bitter man trying to ruin community partnerships. The board president started an audit thread instead. Questions got asked that did not use my name. I watched without replying, as neighbors who had nodded through her barbecues typed long paragraphs about fairness. At the bar, Drew wiped the counter and said, "You look like a man who wants me to ask, but does not want me to ask." "I'm doing inventory," I said, "of my life." Not what I meant, he said. You watch out for Colt. He does not like to lose. Good, I said. He will get lots of practice. Drew dried a glass until it squeaked. There is someone who might talk to you. The studio's other owner. They are not on a Christmas card with Colt right now. Set it up, I said. That night, I slept on top of the covers and dreamed I was pressing a suction cup onto the ocean. The co-owner met me in the back corner of the bar under a TV that played hockey with the sound off. She wore a raincoat that looked like it could stop a knife and spoke like someone settling an old bet. Colt thinks he is bulletproof, she said. He is not. He is sloppy. And your wife's friend made him sloppier. Lena, I said. She funnels clients, the co-owner said. Introductions, favors, little handoffs. She pushes the studio on her board, gets discounts for her people, posts like a street team. It's not illegal. It's just ugly. And he pays her back with free packages. You want paperwork. I am not giving you anything internal. But you can look at what is public. Sponsorship flyers. Her public transaction history. She forgot privacy once and liked how the attention felt. People like Lena always forget. I do not need your secrets, I said. Public will do. She nodded. One more thing. Colt has a temper when he is cornered. He will try to make you swing first. I am patient, I said. That is my hobby. When I stepped into the lot, a voice came out of the rain behind me. Colt leaned on a hood like a cop in a movie without the badge. You owe me for my door, he said. I owe you nothing, I said. You set me up. You set yourself up every day by being you, I said. He pushed off the hood and walked in close. You are going to stop talking to people who matter. If you step into my space again, I said, I will slap you and the camera over that door will record a simple assault where you were the only man in my pocket. You will look small. He stepped closer. So I slapped him. Open hand. A sound like a wet book dropped on a table. He froze. He did not jump, because men like him do not know what to do when something lands square. Drew opened the back door and stood there with a mop handle in his hand, like a man thinking about another job. Colt stepped back and lifted his hands like I had pointed a gun. I moved my car forward an inch. Colt moved back an inch. I did it twice more until he had to laugh, a short bark, to show the camera he was above it. You're not worth the stain, he said. Agreed, I said. He left. Drew shook his head and said nothing. The rain sounded bigger when the door shut. The next morning, the HOA posted an emergency agenda. The regional manager sent a calendar invite that said, Please bring your documentation. The studio suspended Colt pending a review. Tessa texted me 6 different messages that started with, We need to talk, and ended with, Evan, please. I put my phone face down and made a sandwich. I ate half and threw the other half away because I could not swallow. At noon, I followed the co-owner's breadcrumb. The residence fair flyer listed the studio as a sponsor with Lena as point of contact. Her public profile showed a little parade of payments with captions about community love. No amounts were public, but the pattern was obvious. People talk when they believe they are generous. I sent 2 emails, one to the regional manager, one to the HOA president, with links and a single sentence in each. This appears to be a conflict worth reviewing. I attached nothing that was not mine. I wrote no opinions. I waited. The storm came in hard on a Thursday. The harbor went gray and mean. The Pier District treated bad weather like a festival, meetings stacked on meetings. The HOA booked a conference room across from the studio's board. The regional manager invited me to a neutral space upstairs where glass walls made everyone visible. The parking deck under the building hummed with cars, making that wet tire whisper you hear in nightmares. You think you won? He said. I think you don't know the score, I said. He lunged first. I moved the way work teaches you to move, with the least amount of beauty possible. We hit the column, and the concrete punched the breath out of both of us. He grabbed for my phone. I tucked it into my chest and turned my shoulder so his fingers got the bony part of me. He swung wild and hit the air. I stepped in close, knee to knee, and he lost balance for a second because knees are honest. We slid across a painted arrow, and he almost went down. A car alarm started screaming, triggered. "Stop!" someone shouted, a deck attendant with a vest and a radio. Colt stepped back, panting, and tried to grin like a man in on a joke. "You all right, sir?" the attendant said to me. "I'm fine," I said. "I am meeting with the regional manager upstairs." Colt spat a word I will not write and yanked his door open. The hinge groaned. The bent metal bit the pillar. He swore, slammed, swore again. He started the engine and gunned it, trying to prove something. The wet floor got him. The rear fishtailed. The front door smacked the concrete post, and the metal folded itself a little more. He had to stop because physics is very rude. He stared at the pillar like it had insulted his mother. The attendant took out his phone and recorded, because attendants are upstairs. Glass walls made everyone honest. The regional manager sat with two colleagues whose expressions said they had already read everything twice. Tessa sat in a chair by the window, pale, rigid. Lena sat across the hall at the HOA table, hands folded, mouth tight. The co-owner stood near a water cooler with her arms crossed like a person watching fireworks. "Mr. Hale," the regional manager said, "thank you for coming." "Thank you for taking this seriously," I said, and set the thumb drive on the table. "Everything on this is mine to give. Phone logs from an account I own, card statements from a shared account with my legal access, public posts and stories, a neighbor's door camera clip that he offered without my asking, a short video shot from a public sidewalk, copies of policy pages." "We have received corroborating materials from other parties," she said. "This meeting is to confirm timelines and to determine if vendor policies have been violated." Tessa looked at me. "Please," she said, so quietly I almost missed it. "Can we talk after?" "We are talking now," I said. Lena spoke from the doorway as if she had been invited. "This is a witch hunt," she said. "Evan is bitter and trying to destroy community partnerships." The HOA president lifted a printed page. "The partnership questions are about votes and disclosures. Please take your seat, Ms. Brooks." Lena sat, stiff as a portrait. The regional manager asked me to walk them through dates. I did. I did not raise my voice. I did not decorate a single sentence. I let the facts be ugly all by themselves. Tessa broke once and said that she had been unhappy and that it had not meant to be a thing. The co-owner coughed a laugh that did not contain humor. "It is unfortunate," the regional manager said, "but straightforward. Vendor relationships require disclosure and recusal. We will be freezing certain accounts while we complete the review. There will be changes." Down the hall, someone said the word censure. Someone said audit. The wind banged the windows like a man who needed attention. A security guard stepped into the glass room and spoke quietly into the manager's ear. She nodded, then looked at me. "There was an incident in the garage. You may want to file a statement." "I will," I said. Tessa stood up and crossed to me. Her eyes were red. "Evan, I am sorry," she said. "I know that does not fix anything, but I am sorry. Please don't do anything else. You have made your point." "Laugh again," I said. "Say the line." "What line?" she said. "Say it," I said. "Say that's just how she is." She flinched. Her voice disappeared into the hum of the building. "I can't." "Good," I said. "Now you understand." I stepped out of the glass room and walked the short hall to the HOA table. Lena lifted her chin like a person measuring a punch. I set the thumb drive on their table, too. "Everything I gave them is public or mine," I said. "You should make your own copies of your minutes before they change themselves. People will try to make this about me. It is not. It is about the rules you posted on your own bulletin board." "We will take it from here," the president said. I looked through the glass at Colt in the hallway, arguing with a building manager about the door that would not close. His voice rose, fell, rose again. He looked small in the wrong way, like a man filmed at a bad angle. I walked to the elevator. Tessa's hand touched my sleeve and then let go. "Where are you going?" she said. "Home," I said. She swallowed. "Is there a home?" "There is a place where I sleep," I said. "You will figure out the rest without me." The elevator doors slid open on the storm-dark shaft like the mouth of a tunnel. The building hummed with voices. The siren outside changed pitch as a patrol car circled. On the garage camera, Colt tried his door again, and the hinge made that crying noise that tells the truth. I stepped in and pressed the button. The regional manager said my name, maybe to ask another clean question. The HOA president said the word motion. The wind hit the windows hard enough to rattle the frames. Somewhere behind me, Colt shouted an insult at a person who had not earned it. I did not turn. The doors started to close. I looked at Tessa one last time and let my face be a mirror. She reached toward me like a person trying to catch a glass falling from a table, late by a breath. "Now you understand?" I said. The doors met. The elevator sank. The storm took a deep breath and pushed against the building with both hands.